Hello, my friends. Well, I hope you all had a very nice weekend. Moosey and I did, although it was very uneventful, except for some snafus with some weeding and some vines that trying to take over my garden. And my washing machine and dryer started to work. Well, that's not very exciting, is it? But I do have some news about Shamu and Ghost in this video. And also, I am on my way out in a little while to go thrifting for the first time in probably a month. It's Senior Tuesday, 30% off, and I think I'm going to make a little visit. In particular, I have some certain things that I want to get. So I hope you'll stay tuned and enjoy the video. Well, you can kind of guess that I'm getting back into things around here because Sunday morning, about 7:30 in the morning in bed, Moosey woke up and I was awake. And I said, well, this morning, I think I'm going to make some scrambled eggs. I just looked up how to make the perfect eggs because sometimes my eggs are not eggy enough and puffy enough and yellow enough. So I said, I think I know. We're going to have scrambled eggs this morning. So I said, great. Well, he went back to sleep. And in a little while, I got up and I thought, nope, I am going down to you know where. So in this video, you'll see me make my favorite stop to my favorite place with an iced coffee and our favorite breakfast, which I brought home, woke Moosey up, and he was surprised but happy. It's Sunday morning, and I told Moosey in bed about 8 o'clock when he was awake, he fell back asleep, that I was going to try and make some nice fluffy eggs for breakfast. But then I remembered, you guessed it, Del Taco, and here I am buying my favorite breakfast for us, some of those large egg and cheese quesadillas, and cheers, ladies, my iced coffee. I already had my first cup of coffee this morning at 5 o'clock in bed. Oh, I haven't had a Del in 2.5 weeks. Sure tastes good, doesn't it? Here we go. Now, Moosey is still sleeping, so he is going to be surprised. Do you like my new bracelet? I'll tell you more about that later. You know, it still is May gray, June gloom, early in the morning. But the sun does come out in the afternoon. But you know what? I'm thankful that we don't have the extreme heat right now because it's unbearable when it does come. So, catch you home. You know, I talk about this so much, I thought I better share it. This is what it looks like. It's a large quesadilla filled with the most gorgeous yellow fluffy eggs and cheese with a bit of green sauce in there. And I'm going to go in and wake up Moosey, and we're going to sit in bed and have this great breakfast. Also, I wanted to share something that I picked up on Amazon. When I went on Amazon to get my floral frog, which I think I showed to you already, and I've done 2 arrangements with my floral frog. And I put the new one in, which is bigger. It's a lot bigger. But this is what it looks like. I did show it to you as a copy of what it looks like on Amazon. And this is mainly meant for Japanese-inspired arrangements, floral arrangements. And I'm having some fun with it, especially right now, because our roses are just so prolific. and also the poppies. Now I noticed this morning some red poppies came out again. The red ones died out, and you know, overnight those poppies come out. So I'm going to continue to use these for some inside arrangements, and I keep practicing. And actually I'm copying some that Bonnie had done up at Bear Hollow Inn. So get some of these from Amazon, but my advice would be to get them bigger than this. This, they said, was a 2-incher. It doesn't look like 2 inches, but maybe it is. So I would get one a little bit bigger, and I think you're probably going to have to pay about $14 or $15 for a bigger one. The other one has the spikes. They're all about the same height, the spikes. Some might be a little longer, but the juicy stems fit right into these and stay upright. So that's one thing I wanted to share. While I was looking, I don't know how, but this bracelet popped up, and I just loved the great big wooden buckle. You can take it off and put it on. It unpops here just like a belt buckle was, and then all these little seated little beads all the way around. It's quite wide, and they had this in, oh, I bet 15 different colors of beads. I was hoping for something in a turquoise color, but it wasn't quite turquoise. It was green, but I love this blue color. And at the same time, I do have a pair of those earrings on that I showed you while we were up in Bear Hollow at Bonnie and Billy's place. These are made, this particular one that I'm wearing is made, well, all of them are made from the ponderosa pine needles. And two of their friends are two twin gals, and I put their picture on one of the videos from the B&B. And their sister Robin makes these by weaving beautiful, I'm going to try and get a little bit closer. Can you see? These have stones in them. Every single pair is different. And unfortunately, they do not do mail order. But I did get a couple pairs of these, which I'm going to give as gifts. These have little stones in them. So my ring also, which is kind of unusual, is a thrift find from a while ago. So those were my recent little Amazon finds, and today my quest is an unusual one at thrift. Moosey keeps throwing away my teaspoons. Now he has been doing dishes, not every day, but maybe once or twice a week as part of his occupational therapy. And evidently he thought we had too many spoons. And so every once in a while, without telling me, I think several of the spoons would just go in the garbage. I don't think it was because he didn't want to wash them. He just thought there were too many. Well, I think you know, you do run through a lot of teaspoons during the day. You stir your coffee with them. You have them with your cereal. I don't have cereal, but Moosey has cereal every morning. And various other things throughout the day. You use them to dip into the berries to get some sprout. Well, I use probably, I would say 5 or 6 a day. And since we don't have a dishwasher, they go into the sink and wait until the dishes get washed, either by me or by Moosey. And I noticed that right now I own, it's either 5 or 6 spoons. And I did have, I'll bet you 2 dozen, because a year or so ago, the same thing happened. I didn't realize what was happening. I thought they were going in the trash, and I picked some more up at thrift. So they have these little baggies hanging on the wall with assorted utensils in them, and I'm going to try and buy a bag full of spoons. Strange, but yes. And of course, as you know, I will check the jewelry counter as always and do a run through. So right after I finish this, after I go out and retrieve my wash, which is another story, I will make a beeline for thrift. Well, this morning, Monday morning, Memorial Day, I made my date nut bread my way using the Pillsbury quick bread mix and adding my crushed fresh dates into the mixture and a bunch of walnuts. And as soon as it cools, I'm going to smear it with cream cheese, and Moosey and I will have a piece outside. Ooh, it looks good. Hello. You might say, what are you doing back there? Well, it's sheet changing day, and I'm trying to change the sheets over here. It's Memorial Day, and on this gloom June gray May day, here I sit changing the sheets. And this is Moosey's side, and as you know, on this bed, it is really an amazing thing to do. And what I have to do is I have to push the sheets up in order to get it on all the way up so that I can get the sheets down under here. How many of you have beds like this? These beds that go up and down. So here I go, trying to put the sheets on. I know you say I should call my granddaughters to do this, and I was debating, but I'm gonna see if I can do this without too much huffing and puffing. Now, first things first. Now that corner up there is the hardest, and I have to get on the other side to do it. So I'll see you. I think I did it. Now, let's see if they go down. There they go. Down, down, down. Well, that's one sheet done. Huh. I think I'm just gonna keep his were the ones that needed changing today. So I think I'm just gonna rest and let the girls do my side. So it's all down here, down up there. Now I'm going to take the pillows. That wasn't too bad. I think I did okay. Now I just need a pillowcase for this. Pull. Now I just need a pillowcase for this. Pull. And voila, one side of the bed made. There. Now, let me explain the sheet caper, the bed making caper. Sunday morning, when Moosey and I were having our lovely Del Taco quesadilla, cheese and egg quesadilla in bed, we had a little mishap on Moosey's side with his coffee. Not only that, yesterday morning, we have a dermatology appointment with Moosey on Wednesday. He has a couple of things that have to be addressed and taken care of. And I have been nursing these, one on his arm and one on his shoulder. And sometimes, you know how some of those things that need attention and you've put off, when you take something off, I've actually been putting bandages on them, more than a bandage. And when Moosey went to take it off, he didn't wait for me to do it. It did bleed and it got on the sheets. So on top of the coffee and the blood, the sheets had to come off. So I had a rigmarole in the shed trying to wash them and clean them. And then, you know how sometimes heavy sheets don't go around and around, and the final rinse doesn't get all the water out. I had to kind of try and wring it out by hand, put it in the dryer. The dryer refused to dry them because they were too heavy. So it was awful. I did get it straightened out by late in the day. Had to put different sheets on, but that's why I was going through that. Normally, I would have waited until our granddaughters can help me with the sheets, because as you can tell, with those automatic beds that go up and down, it is a little difficult unless there's a trick to it. Now, I do have to raise them up high to get the sheets on one side and then do the other side. Anyway, that was the reason that I was going through those shenanigans with the bed. Well, I told you I would mention something about Shamu and Ghost. Before we left, and it's almost 3 weeks now since we left, I gave Shannon and Colleen all the scoop on how to feed Ghost and Shamu and the birds and take care of the flowers, etc. Well, there were special instructions about Ghost because he is feisty, as you know, and did not like strangers. He loved me, and I was the only one that was allowed near him. And he was not really nice. He would run away from everyone else. And as you know, was not treating Shamu nicely. He was definitely the alpha male, and Shamu had become quite anxious, I would say, and had anxiety when I was out there, because Ghost would get feisty with Shamu. So I talked to Colleen once or twice while we were gone, and she showed me that Shamu was fine and loving the attention when they would come down, but that Ghost would appear maybe every other day, and that he would hiss at her if he saw her and she had troubles reaching for the food or something with him. So he was not enjoying having someone else feed him in the beginning. Well, evidently he appeared less and less, and by the time we got home, I think he might have flown the coop. I have not seen Ghost in a week, and Shamu, quite frankly, is loving being the sole cat on the property. And I have a feeling, you know, they say feral cats sometimes have 2 or 3 owners that take care of them and feed them. And Colleen and Micah, when they walk the dogs, see him down the hill across the street, kind of hanging out in front of someone else's property. So maybe he's there and he has given up, thinking that I am gone forever and not coming back. He has not come back. So it's been almost a week. I think perhaps he might be taken care of by someone else, which is fine for Shamu, and quite frankly, a little easier for all of us around here, and I don't have to take special precautions about sharing my love when between Ghost and Shamu. So feral cats will always be feral, and it's sad that he's not here for me, but on the other hand, I'm sure Shamu will enjoy being alone. I'm on my way to attack that morning glory that's killing my bougainvillea. It's early in the morning, and I'm gonna get it. Here I go. This is a morning glory type, not all morning glories, but this type. Before you plant any of it, figure out whether it's the long type that just runs across the street, up trees, everywhere, and will choke out all your things. So we got to get rid of this, and this is what I'm doing. Getting rid of it. Already done 3 of the bougainvillea bushes, and we're going to see if it works. Follow me. You see down here, these are all done, and the bougainvillea is thriving. So I do have to get from here on, and it's hard work. Most of it is growing from down on the other side of the fence. This is hard on the hands, so I do have gloves over there. Yes, Teeny, I'm gonna get them now. I did do some of this the other day, and I want you to look at my roses again. Oh, look at these beautiful roses. Moosey is on his way out. It's only 8 o'clock, but I think I woke him up. I've been up since 6. Actually, it's 5, but I'm on my way. But look at my roses. I think this is the best year yet for roses. You know, sometimes you get lucky and you get a nice long string like this, but otherwise you start picking little ones like this. Honestly, it's a never-ending job. If anyone out there knows any answer to how to get rid of the morning glories, well, they've been growing, I'd say 9 or 10 years here, and I'm sure the neighbors, as far away as they are on both sides, have some of this too. So, I'm gonna go inside for a while, get Moosey's breakfast, and then I'm gonna tell you a few other things that are on my mind today, and maybe put some makeup on. So I'm kind of anxious to be on my way. It still is gray May, June gloom. I don't know what's happening with this weather, but hopefully it's not heading into one of those hot summers right off the bat. You know, sometimes it goes from a nice, comfortable day to the next day being over the top with the heat, and you're not ready for it, and it totally wipes your energy out. I'm not looking forward to that. As a matter of fact, I'm looking forward to fall already. So that Idaho weather was ideal. Now, I do know it does get hot up there, and Bonnie and Billy do say that the gardening and the work have to stop fairly early in the day. Sometimes they do start, like me, very early in the morning. So, thank you all for watching and enjoying, and welcome to our newcomers. As I say, I hope you all enjoyed your Memorial Day weekend. Ours was a very quiet one, other than some crazy work around here, but that's okay. We are still coming back down to earth, but I think that life is settling down. We're hoping this week to get to visit Matthew and Cindy and the kids. We didn't get to do it over the weekend, and I'm hoping that we'll get to do that this week. You know, I do realize that those of us that are super agers, and I am referring to that, life is not quite what it used to be with when we were younger, when we had all the kids around and we were celebrating all holidays and get-togethers, and they were so easy to whip up some food and everybody would bring something. And as you get older, it seems that sometimes staying home is easier than getting yourself out. Although it didn't seem to be too much going on with the family this weekend, but that's okay. As we learned on our vacation this year, we did prefer the quiet times, just enjoying the scenery around us, the animals, and the love and the comfort of our children. When we were there 3 years ago, we did go out a lot. We took a lot of day trips, long car trips, and that was fun then. But we're 3 years older, and it just wasn't what we wanted to do this time. Goodbye for now. See you in a couple of days, and God bless us all.